Hello everybody and welcome back to the last part of our series, this Let's Make series number 5. In this part we're going to put the paper bags that we've decorated into the album by attaching them to the spine that we put into the binder in the first part of the series, and then we are going to decorate the front. And the reason we're going to do it in that order is that the bags will fill up the folder or the cover and give us a stable platform to work on. So I have finished off all my bags, I've finished off all the tags, added the buttons and stuck those down. The only thing I haven't done is put the backing papers that I had left on the back of the photo mats, but what I might do is add another place for a photo, because I know lots of photos get taken over Christmas. I just wanted to say thank you so much for all of your comments on this series. There's been lots and lots of them, and once I've finished each of these, or filming these parts or episodes, I'm going to respond to everybody message by message. So thank you very, very much. It's been fun going along and fun to get your feedback as well. Right, so the next thing that you need to do if you're using paper bags is to put some double-sided tape as close to the edge as you can get it on this inside flap here, and then starting with the back page we're going to fill the album up and stick each of the pages down. I just found it easier to start at the back, get that one straight and then lay the others over the top. So let me show you what I did. First of all, I'm going to take the backing tape off the bottom of the first paper bag, and I'm going to slide that just carefully over the flap or hinge and line it up so that it sits evenly top and bottom of the cover. I might have to stand up to do this, I can't do it sitting down. Hold on. Okay, I'm standing up now, I just had a coughing fit. And once I've got it lined up top and bottom, I'm going to push it down, and that sticks the first of the bags into the album. I shunted it right up as far as it would go onto the hinge as well. And now I'm just going to take the backing tape off the top side of the bag. It's all a bit fiddly. And then just press that down onto that hinge as well. And that puts the first of the pages into the book. And then I'm going to repeat that for the second page. Let me just take the backing tape off. So I'm doing it piece of tape by piece of tape, and again, stuck to me, I'm going to line it up over the flap, not pressing it down but just line it up, and then line it up with the top and bottom of the bag that I've just added. Not the outside edge here, but the top and bottom edges. And then when I feel it's right, and push it right up to the edge of the spine as far as it will go. The bags are all slightly different, and that's why I do one side at a time, because these little flaps on the bottom of the bag aren't the same size. So I line one up first and then line the back one up first and then stick the top one down afterwards. Let's just move that over. Okay, and the next one in exactly the same way. Can't take the tape off. Okay, tape off the bottom, fold the flap down, poke the bag underneath as far as it will go, line it up with the edges of the bag that you've just laid down, push down, to secure the bottom, and then take the tape off the underside of the top of the bag and push that down too. And it soon starts to build up into a book, which is great. Okay, let's do the next one. Make sure that they're the right way up as you go. I think the nice way about doing this is you can decide when you've made all of your pages which order you want them to go in. Okay, so poke it underneath, line it up top and bottom, push it down, and then pull that top backing tape off and secure the top down. As you get further into the book, you can't press down anymore, so lift your pages up and just push your fingers down onto the hinge, and that secures them. Next one. Slot that one on. There's about 1/8 of an inch of hinge showing each time I do this. And that one. Now if you're making, or if you've made card envelopes, you do exactly the same. It is a bit fiddly, but you put your tape on those two lower edges, secure the back one, and then pull the top tape off and secure the top page or top side. Right, last one going on. Let's get them straight, line them up, press down, and then do the top one. And that's it. All those paper bags are now in your album. I think that's really exciting once you've got it all assembled. And your pages will flip over really easily because of that hinge. So let's just put that back tag. Oh no, it came out of there. You may want to remove your tags before you start so that they're not blocking or sticking out over the edges of the paper bags. That will stop you lining your bags up. So lovely. Not looking so lovely on the front though, so we need to start decorating that. So let me take you through all of the bits and pieces that we need to put that together. There are quite a few. Okay, to put the cover together, let me take you through what you need. First of all, you need a piece of black card that is 5 1/8 deep by 8.5 inches long, and that's going to cover up just the little bit of binding that goes around the front of, or around the front, the sides and the back of the album. On top of that, you want a piece of paper that is 5 by, it doesn't need to be 8 inches long, but this one I've done at 6 inches long, so 5 by 6. And then I have used my oblong X-cut die and cut out a scalloped oblong, and then I've just sized it so that it fits on the front of the album. I think I cut it down by 1 scallop, so just put it back through the Cuttlebug. You're going to need some cream cardstock. I'll show you how to make the large flower here. That one is a Spellbinder's Blossom. I've used my Paper Artsy flower cutters for these flowers here, and then just a very tiny little flower punch to make the centres. I've used the Alterations Vintage Noel for the Noel wording on the front, and I've also used the Flourish Holly and Mistletoe die by Sizzix, and that was for the large holly leaves. And this is the cutter for the blossom here, which is the Spellbinder's Spiral Blossom 1 cutter. Okay, so we also need a small, well, if you're following what I've done, I cut out a small rectangle scallop from the green paper, and then just one of the cutouts from the paper on top of that, and of course the candle. And then to finish it off, I just tied a bell onto a red ribbon and tied that around this flower here. So let's start to put it all together. First of all, I'm going to stick the paper down so that we've got a base to work up from. Let me just put that over there. So as I said, black card first of all to sit up against the binding edge. Doesn't matter so much about this edge because we're going to cover that in the red. So I'm going to stick that down first. Haven't done anything to it. So let me just move that over there. I've just put some new tape in this, so it's going to play up. God, I'm so not good at doing straight lines with this. Let's try harder. Don't forget your one down. Oops. Oh dear. Not a good night with the tape gun. Don't forget your tape down the middle, just to keep your card stuck down onto the surface. Poke under any tape. I don't want to be able to see the tape. Okay, let's stick that down first. So butt it up against the binder edge. I've left about 1/4 of an inch away here, and then stick that down. Then I'm going to add my cover piece of paper, but before I do that, I'm just going to ink it with my holly mask, just to lift it a little bit. Where is the holly mask? Let's just get that out. I was trying to be really prepared for this, and I'm really not prepared at all. Okay, so I'm just going to put the mask over the paper, hold it down, ink over the top, and I'm just going to go around the edges. I'm inking quite firmly for this one because I do want it to be quite dark. Let's move that round. Move it round again. Where did we get to? Move it round again. Okay, that's done. So now I'm going to stick that onto the book. Again, I'm going to use the, sorry, I'll put it in shot in a minute. I'm just going to put some ATG on the back of that. One in the middle. Bring the album back, and I'm going to line that up again with this binding edge, and got a glue bobble. Where did that come from? Let's put it over there. Okay. And stick that down. If you've got any corners turning up, just use a little bit of wet glue. Just to take them down. Okay, next the red scallop oblong. So again, I'm just going to put some tape on the back of that. I'll do that over here, but not so it shows around the scalloped edge. Scalloped? Scalloped. I don't know, what do you say? And that one just fits over the paper. I'm just lining that up just inside this edge here. Oh. So that it covers the paper underneath and almost goes to the edge over there. The next thing to add is our candle. I think it's part 12, I did put details of a supplier in the UK that has this embossing folder. So the name of it's there, and also the web address if you wanted to order one. Now before I stick that down, I just want to line everything else up so that I know what I'm putting where. Okay, so I've got that. Make sure the word fits. The sparkle on this is the candy cane stickles. I think it's got a really nice vintage look without it being too red. So I've cut that out. One thing I didn't tell you about was I did put a little bit of mistletoe in, and that was from the Festive Decorative Strip, the new one that's just come out by Sizzix. So I'm going to add that somewhere. And then it's so I think that's where things are going to go. So the first thing there is the candle. So I'm just going to move that across and stick the candle down. If you remember, we embossed the candle, but we inked the embossing folder first, the top of the embossing folder, before putting the paper in, and that just put a bit of colour onto the embossed shape, and then I cut it out. Somebody's asked me what I use when I cut out all of the figures from the paper. I just use a pair of scissors. Nothing complicated, just a very small pair of scissors. I think you get better control with something small, and they're easy to bend around the corners and the turns in the edges. So that's the candle down. Next, I'm just going to sit that over the top there. So again, I'm just using wet glue and just putting this down with the wet glue. Okay. This green shape I've backed with black card, again just to give it a bit of a lift off the page. So I'm just going to offset that partly over the candle and partly on the paper. Press it down. Sorry, does that look really awkward? I have to do it that side. Okay. Then I'm going to stick the Noel saying on and the mistletoe. So we'll do the mistletoe next. I'm just putting glue right up to the edges of all the little leaves. Just a little bit of wet glue. I'm just going to have that coming out there, I think. So let's just stick that down. Stick down, and then I'm going to stick the Noel phrase on. And again, I'm just putting glue, wet glue, all the way around the letters. Because I don't want it to curl up from the page, or the cover, I should say. And then I'm just going to flatten that down so it doesn't ooze out. You do get in a right sticky mess, don't you? Where am I going to put that? Just there, I think. Just hold it down for a couple of seconds, just so the glue starts to stick. Okay. Next we're going to put the flat flowers on, and for those I cut out, this was from my Paper Artsy Blossoms. What are they called actually? Grunge Flowers 2 and 3 is the cutter name. So I cut one of the large ones out and 2 of the small ones, and they're going to just sit down here like that. But before we stick those on, we need to do some work on them, and I also need to add the stamp that goes there. So let me just do that. I think I cut 6 or 7 holly leaves out from the cutter. I didn't mention that. So I'm just going to put that there. Now, let me move this out of the way. Before I cut the flowers or do anything with them, I've inked the edges, and then I'm just going to put some ink music across them. So I've got, this was just a very, very cheap ink, not an ink, what's it called, stamp, music stamp, that I picked up in a pound bin, but I'm not sure who it's by. But all I do is just, I've lost my acetate pad as well, or acrylic pad I should say, so I'm having to use something else to do the stamping. So I'm just stamping across the flower, not particularly evenly, because the flower's not going to be flat. So let's do the little ones. Oh, it's gone. And another one. So this was the best I could find to see, so I could see through where I was placing the stamp. There's a lid off something. Okay, so now we've done that, we need to just cut into the centre of the flower. So cut each petal towards the centre, but not right to the centre, and that's going to help when we start to curl the petals up. Gives them more flexibility. And I'd also inked the edges of each of the flowers as well. Two. Okay, and we'll just do the big one. Cutting towards the centre, but not right into the centre. And then we're going to turn the petal over. You see all the glue on my hands, I do apologise. And this is, now I call it a ball tool, because that's what it's called if you are a cake decorator. But it's softening tool, round ended, and then just a narrow end down there. So I'm going to work the round end of the tool onto the petal, pushing quite hard, and that curls that petal upwards, but not pressing so hard as it rips the paper, but you should be able to just work it. You can spray your card with just a little bit of water using a mini mister, and that just softens it up if you want to. So I'm just working those petals and softening them so that they're curling backwards. You see, middle of my hand. If you drag that tool towards the centre of the flower, the petal will curl backwards. But you have to sort of soften the card up first. And I am pressing quite hard. Okay, let's do the next one. Perhaps I should spray this. So if you can see, that's actually curled those petals over. Then I turn the flower over and, using the same end of the tool, work it round in a circular motion to push the centre down and lift those petals up. If you can see that, so which way should I turn it? That way. So that's no longer a flat flower. And then you do the same with the other, oh, whoops, it's alive, with the other two. So let me just do those and I'll be back. Okay, so I've done those, there's 3 of them, and I've also done exactly the same with a little tiny blossom that I'd cut out that's going to go in the centre of these two smaller flowers here. But what I did was use the other end of the tool and just work that towards the centre of the flower and then turn it over and then just soften the centre that side, and that just lifts the petals up again, and they're going to just slot in there like that. So I'm going to stick those two in now, just with a bit of glue, and then we're going to make the spiral blossom. Let's just add that one, add that one. You can use the tool just to position them and push down just to secure them. Okay, so let me just move those out of the way. And that one. So next we're going to wind up the spiral blossom into the three-dimensional flower for the front of the binder. So let me just show you the cutter. You see, it's quite thin. You just need to cut one out of card or cardstock, and I've cut it out in cream and inked the edges both sides before, on the frilly side, before I'm going to start rolling it up. And what you do is start to roll from the thin end, and you roll it tightly in the middle. You can start off with a little fold over just to get yourself started, and then you literally just roll it up. I don't know if you can see because it is really, really fiddly, along that straight edge, and just keep rolling and keep rolling, keeping those straight, or the straight edge level. And keep rolling. Alright, nearly there. And keep rolling. You need some wet glue ready for this, just to secure it down. And keep rolling, and keep rolling. Okay, when you get to this flat bit, you need to put quite a bit of wet glue on there, so that that can work its way into the straight edges. Just let the flower unravel a little bit, and then push it down and over that flat base, and then just unravel it until it looks like you want to get it to look. You can use your little tool or tweezers just to get the petals to open up a little bit, and then just hold it down for a couple of seconds, just so the glue starts to take against the edges. Just lift that, and that's it. That's the spiral blossom. So I would leave that to dry before putting it onto your album. There we are. And those inked edges just give a nice finish to the flower. So let's just move that out of the way and zoom out a bit. So the finishing touches for the cover now are to put the holly leaves on. They go on first, and first of all I place them on and then I stick them down. I want them all to sit on the cover, not really stick out too much over the edges. And we'll have, let's put them the right way around. I've just bent them and I've inked the edges and then covered them in distress stickles, just green distress stickles. So let's put the flowers on and see what that looks like. No, let's move that one. So it's just a case of fiddling around with these bits until you've got them where you really would like them to go. So they will fit on like that, and then the blossom that we've just made fits into the middle of that big flower. So the next thing is to stick them all down. So I'm going to do that and then come back. So I need to do it the right way up. So I've stuck all the holly leaves on and the 3 flat grunge flowers. I've used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 holly leaves, and now I'm just going to put the 3-dimensional blossom in the middle of this large flower. So I've put some wet glue in the middle. I'm just going to put the blossom over the top and push it down with my tool so that it sticks to the glue underneath. I'm just going to twistle it round like that, and then that just finishes off that flower. Might just want to hold it there for just a couple of seconds, just so that it starts to stick. But I did put plenty of glue on, so that will dry overnight. And then, just to finish off with a bit of sparkle, for the mistletoe I put some berries on, and I used my frosted lace stickles for that. So let me just put those on. I just did 3 little dots. 1, just trying to think where the berries go. 2, 3. And when they dry, I just put a little bit of ink on my finger, vintage photo ink, and rubbed it over the top of those just to give them a creamy sort of look. And then in the middle of the 2 blossoms, I'm just going to put some red stickles. This is candy cane stickles, just for their centres. And then I'm just going to put some holly berries dotted around on the leaves. Just poking out. Not too many. And I think I'm going to put 1 there and 1 down there. And that's it. That's our finished album. So I hope you've enjoyed that. I've really enjoyed doing the series for you, and if you want to ask me any questions or have any comments, please send them over and I'll try and reply, as I said, to everything once this video's up and loaded. Anyway, thanks very much for watching along, and I'll be back with another project shortly on my channel.